All right. Well, good afternoon to you all and welcome. So great to see so many of you here today. My name is Rafael Delgado. I am the Assistant Director for Career Services. My pronouns are he, him, and his. And if you are in the correct Zoom room, you are here to explore careers in tech and engineering. So really what I was planning on highlighting during this presentation is really just highlighting some resources that are available to you both on our website and on campus to really support you in exploring various career paths, really gaining experience as you are preparing for your next steps. So I really encourage, as I am going through this presentation, I want to make sure that what I am addressing is really addressing the questions that you're coming in with. And so I very much invite folks to come off of mute for those who feel comfortable, add questions to the chat. As I am going through, I'm going to do my best to monitor the chat as I am presenting. And for those who feel comfortable, please feel free to come on camera. I'd love to see some faces for folks that are in the room today. Okay. So as I shared, really, we're going to be exploring different opportunities and different resources, particularly focusing around careers in tech and engineering. So just out of curiosity, give me a thumbs up reaction if you're kind of coming in and you have a really strong idea career-wise of what it is that you want to do. You have that clear picture in your head. This is what I want to do in tech and engineering. Give me a thumbs up reaction if that's where you are. Okay. Give me a thumbs up reaction if you were an undergraduate student, similar to how I was when I was going to school, where you have maybe a vague idea of where you're going, but you're still kind of piecing together what exactly that looks like. Give me a thumbs up if that's where you are. Okay, all right, a couple of folks, fantastic. Give me a thumbs up reaction if you're at the beginning stages of this and are just kind of trying to figure out where it is that you are wanting to go. Okay, fantastic. So let me just share, regardless of where you are, whether you have everything figured out or you are still in the process of piecing that together, that is completely okay. The resources and the tools that I'm going to be introducing to you are going to be beneficial, really, regardless of where you are on your journey. And really want to make sure that you are grounded in what these resources are. So then that way you know where to look and who to reach out to for when you are needing support. Okay. So give me another thumbs up reaction if you have had a chance to engage with us in career services. So you've had a resume review, you've met with a career coach, anything at all, anybody already engaged? All good. How many of you have heard about career services but haven't had quite a chance to meet with us? Okay, a couple folks. How many are this the first time you're hearing about career services? Okay, not too many. All right, so let me share a little bit of context as to who we are and what we do. So we are a resource here at UW Bothell for all students who are looking to explore, build, and connect. So we work with students who are in the process of exploring different academic pursuits, different career interests. So as I asked at the beginning, for those of you who are still in that exploratory phase, fantastic. We can be a valuable resource for you as you're starting to do some of that exploration. We're also a resource to help you build your job search skills. So that includes developing your resume, developing your online profiles, interviewing, those particular areas, and how exactly do you even look for an opportunity in the current state of things. So we certainly help students in that capacity as well. And then we work with students to connect them to the larger employment community. And so we do that through a couple of different avenues, but primarily through our events. So for example, in the spring, we have our career and internship fair that will be taking place. And in the fall, we also have a career and internship fair. And we try to find other opportunities for you all to be able to engage with potential employers, just so you can build those connections. You can start getting a sense of what exactly are employers even looking for and how do I develop the skills and the experiences that they are really looking for when I am looking for that internship or when I am looking for that full-time position post-graduation, okay? So we are a service really for all undergraduate students, all graduate students, and then up alumni up to 3 years after graduation. So I really encourage folks to meet with us early and often, especially if you're in the midst of just piecing these elements together. It's really beneficial to start laying the foundation for your resume, your online profiles. So then that way, when you are at the point and you're ready to utilize them, you won't have to spend as much time really building it from scratch, because you have already just started to build the foundation, and we just continue to modify and edit from there. Okay. So as I'm going through this presentation, what I'm going to be doing is also pivoting to our website to highlight a couple of resources. And I will be adding those resource links to the chat. So it is something that you're going to be able to pull up and access. I will say that once I close out of the Zoom room, the chat will disappear and those links will also disappear. So as I'm adding them, feel free to pull it up, bookmark it, so then that way you have things readily available and good to go. All right. So something that I really wanted to just share with you is one of the big questions that we often will get in career services is that element of just, where do I even start? This process is daunting, and I am not quite sure where I need to start looking for resources. And so one of the tools that I want to introduce to you is our career website. So I'm going to be introducing a couple of different resources from the website. But for right now, I'm going to just add our overall career website to the chat. So then that way you have it. So from this page is where you're going to be able to access some of our career exploration materials. It's where you're going to be able to make an appointment with us. It's also where you're going to be able to take a look at some of the resources, as well as some videos and webinars that we've created really kind of over the past couple of academic years, to just make sure that folks have a good idea of what exactly folks are needing when they are putting together their resumes, they're putting together their online profiles, their networking skills, those sort of things. All right. So this is where you're able to schedule an appointment with us, and appointments are actually scheduled through Handshake, which I'm going to show you just in a little bit. Just out of curiosity, give me a thumbs up if you are familiar with Handshake, you've heard of Handshake. Maybe you haven't gotten into it, but you at least know what it is. Okay, couple of folks. All right, fantastic. For those who don't, that is completely okay. That Handshake is the job and internship board that we utilize here at UW-Bothell. We actually share that platform with the Seattle campus. So I'm going to be showing you that in a little bit, to how it can be valuable in as you're doing some of this exploration, but then also how you're able to schedule an appointment with us. But you're able to meet with us for a variety of different reasons: exploring career, reviewing application materials, preparing for graduate school for those who may be interested in graduate school, developing an internship or job search plan, interviewing skills, and then, how do you discuss job offers, salary negotiations, things of that nature. Okay, so overall, this is just going to be a very useful page to have available for you. Okay, one additional thing that we're able to do is we offer online resume review and cover letters as well. So if you have a resume or a cover letter that you're starting to draft up, you want to get some eyes on it, not quite ready for an appointment, you're also able to schedule a request for an online review. Okay, so a couple of different services that we offer. Let's get into more of the nitty-gritty around why you're here, and really what are the types of roles that you're going to be able to explore going down this career path of tech and engineering. So the thing to keep in mind is your degree is preparing you for a number of different opportunities. So as you can see here, when it comes to the world of tech and engineering, there are quite a few industries and career paths that you're able to explore. And this is really just a snapshot. There is far more out there that you're going to be able to explore. And I'll show you some resources to kind of help you with that. And the thing to keep in mind, particularly in this focus area of tech and engineering, is often as I'm working with students and they're exploring opportunities, they tend to focus on the tech companies, the big tech companies, the Google, the Microsoft, those sort of companies. And really, when it comes to tech and engineering, you're able to actually get into multiple industries because technology is one of those common threads that is throughout a variety of different industries. So you can have a degree in, focused in tech and engineering and work in healthcare and work in education and work in government, those sort of things, because they all have technically focused roles. So being aware that tech and engineering will open up a number of different career paths in a number of different industries. And the thing to keep in mind, especially when folks are identifying where should I be going and what should I be doing? So if you are an undergraduate student, or if you are an undergraduate student, similar to how I was, I really did not have a clear plan of action as to what exactly I was going to be doing really within school and just kind of post school. And so it was one of those things where, as I was navigating my academic journey, I started connecting a lot more with different folks. And I didn't necessarily have the dream role in mind, but I knew what I wanted to learn, what I wanted to develop. And for those of you who are still kind of on the fence of like, I don't know what I want to do for the rest of my life, that's completely okay. I know many career professionals who don't know what they want to do for the rest of their lives. And what you're wanting to focus on are, what are those transferable skills? What are those things that employers are really needing from recent college graduates? And I'll be reviewing some of those elements in just a little bit, but wanted to just put on your radar, there is so much that you have already been developing in your academic journey that is going to be applicable to your career journey. And we're really going to be highlighting those particular things. So when you're crafting your resume, when you're putting together your materials, you're aware of what it is that you already have been developing. So how do you develop it with greater intentionality? And then what are going to be those experiences that are going to give you the skills that will prepare you for whatever that next step is. So again, if you don't have that dream position in mind, start thinking about, what do I want to learn? What do I want to get better at? What do I just want to develop? And slowly but surely that dream position comes into focus, all right? So a couple of different tools then to help you in that exploration. So I'm going to take us back to our career webpage, all right? And so where I want to bring your attention is this resource right here around majors and careers. So I'm going to add this to our chat as well, so that way you have it. And this will actually connect you to a couple of different resources that are available to you. And I'm going to share some of our favorites that we tend to recommend. One of them is, what can I do with this major? And this is a very, very helpful resource, particularly for those individuals who are saying like, I have this degree, and at the same time, I don't fully know what exactly I can do with this degree. And this really helps identify those areas. So when you click on what can I do with this major, it will actually open up a bit of a library database where you're able to look up different majors and get a sense of the type of career options that are available. Something to be mindful of is, if you just type in, what can I do with this major? It's not going to take you to our page, because this is a resource that we pay for in Career Services, and we have it on our website so students can access it for free. So if you just look up what can I do with this major, you're not going to find anything. You do need to access it from our major and careers page. So that's why I'm not adding this link particularly. Okay, so once you've logged in, you can now take a look at the different majors that are within this database. So let's take a look at engineering, math, and computers. Because this is more of a generalized database, you may not necessarily find your specific UW-Bothell degree. Sometimes UW-Bothell has very unique names for the degrees, and they are related to these more general industries. So for example, if we were just looking in computer science more generally, when you click on this link, what we'll do is open up a page, it's taking a little bit to load right now, where you're gonna not only be able to see what are you able to do with this particular degree, but you're also gonna have some additional links to support you in your career exploration. And honestly, when folks are in the beginning stages, as I tend to meet with folks, I really encourage, before you really start kind of nailing down, this is exactly what I want to do, explore, get out there and be able to kind of just get a sense of what it is that you can actually get into with this degree. And what you're going to find is you are going to surprise yourself of how many different areas you can get into. So just with the computer science degree in general, you're able to get a sense of the different areas you can explore, the different employers that tend to hire individuals with this particular degree, and then some strategies to set yourself up to navigate this sort of career opportunity. So as you can see, with the degree in computer science, you're able to get into programming, able to get into systems development, network technology, database administration, just overall internet. You can get into education, technical support. So there are a number of different areas. And when you start taking a look even at the employers, you're going to start seeing financial institutions, insurance companies, computer companies, retailers, healthcare, hotels. So when we're talking about how your tech and engineering degree is preparing you for a number of different industries, it's very true. There are a number of folks who tend to hire students or recent graduates with this degree focus. So your industry focus can be pretty broad. And then depending on the area you're wanting to focus on, really then leans into these particular strategies of, are you looking for internships? Are you looking for volunteer opportunities? Are you needing to focus classes on a particular subject area or a particular skill base? So those are some of the things that you're wanting to explore. So when you're plotting out your academic journey, you're plotting out your classes, you're doing so with intentionality. You're doing so recognizing that this is the area I want to get into. This is what they're highlighting that I need to develop my experience in. And then it gives you some good ideas for how to go about doing that. And then as you're continuing your research, these are some additional tools to really help you in that exploration. So first off, professional associations. It's actually a really valuable resource. So for those who are unaware, many industries have related professional associations where professionals within that industry are able to join, they're able to gather information around what's currently happening in their industry. So it's a good way of staying on top of what's occurring. And then also it is a good way of staying connected to folks in your industry and learning about opportunities that maybe haven't hit the job board yet, but are coming down the pipeline. So this is a very good way of just staying informed. IEEE, they have a student organization on campus worth exploring as well. So there are a couple of different on-campus activities as well to really help build out your, as they say, your professional network, or really just other folks that you happen to know that are in the industry, okay? Occupational outlook, what this is very useful to do is for those folks who are trying to get a sense of, all right, if I want to become a computer programmer, for example, do I need a bachelor's? Do I need a master's? What's kind of the salary range for it? What do I need to know getting into this sort of industry, all right? When you click on some of the resources for Occupational Outlook, it actually brings you to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, okay? This is something that you can access outside. So I'll just add this particular link to our chat. And so utilizing this resource, you're able to get a sense of what's the average pay for this type of role if this is the direction that I want to get into? What sort of degree do I need to just get my foot in the door? What exactly do they do? What's the work environment? What's the job outlook over the next couple of years? So this really helps you get a sense of what exactly is this job? What's the future of this job? And how do I need to set myself up to be able to explore this? So utilizing these resources really help you connect those dots and start to identify, is this the right path for me or not, okay? Other related resources, so just some additional links to help you in your exploration as you're looking to gain more information. And then employment opportunities. So if you're wanting to explore some job boards that are a bit more targeted in the industry that you're trying to get into, this is a good place to explore. You can certainly explore Indeed, LinkedIn, some of those other job boards, and you have to do a lot more digging. You have to do a lot more searching to try to find those elements because of the fact that it is such a popular job board. Those are popular job boards that pretty much a lot of opportunities get thrown onto. So how do you start to identify opportunities that you're able to explore post-graduation? This is a good place to start. Handshake is going to be another place to explore, which I'll talk about in just a little bit. All right. Any questions about this resource before I move on to another resource? Feel free to come off of mute or add to the chat. Okay, fantastic. Also see some staff members in here as well. So folks, if there is anything that you would like for me to elaborate on, by all means, please feel free, come off of mute and chime in. Okay. The other resource that I like to recommend to folks around just where do I even get started is this focus area right here called WOIS, which is the Washington Occupation Information System. So this is also something, let me hide my remotes here so I can see what I'm doing, okay? This is a resource that you are needing to actually utilize UW's computers to access. If you are off campus, then you actually need a site key. So I'm going to do a couple of different things. One, add WOIS to our chat. And then if you happen to be off campus, take note of this site key, MPJ445. And so you will just, copy and save that. When you are off campus, the page that you log into won't look like this. It will ask you for a site key. And when you enter it, this is what it will bring up for you. And so what you're able to do here is if you're still exploring different career interests, for example, you have an idea, but it's not quite fully formed yet, completely okay. There is an area here of taking career interest survey. This gives you an idea of just what are some careers that might be of interest to you. So it starts getting a sense of what are you gravitating towards and what are some potential opportunities that you may want to take a look at. So this is also a really good starting place when you're trying to just determine what exactly are my next steps. But the other one that I really like from this particular resource is right here when you click on careers. This is really just a library database of a number of different career opportunities. And the thing is, when you're taking a look at this and when you're taking a look at different industries, you're going to find just a lot of different job titles. And as you're looking at these job titles, it's going to be a bit of a question of, well, what exactly does this person do? What exactly is the focus area of this individual? So let's say you wanted to become an aerospace engineer. When you click on that, what it does is it will actually give you a career summary for what this role focuses on. But here's the other thing that I very much appreciate. It gives you a sense of related careers. So sometimes when folks are looking at a particular industry, they may just think like, oh, I need to be an engineer because that's what I need to do, or I need to do a software developer. And they're very keyed into very specific roles, but they aren't aware of the roles around that particular job. What are the other roles that tend to engage with this particular role? So it helps you get a sense of what are some other opportunities that if I'm not prepared to be an engineer now, I could step into to prepare me to then make that next step. So part of the work that you're going to be exploring as you're doing this exploration is recognizing all of the different opportunities around the one that you might be targeting. And it really is just helpful to open the picture a little bit more to get a better idea of the different types of roles that you can explore in preparation for whatever that dream role happens to be, okay? Gives you an idea of tasks and job-related duties, gives you an idea of work requirements, the working conditions, what sort of skills and abilities. So this area in particular, when you're thinking about your future classes, what are those skills that folks are looking for? You can hone in on this and you can start identifying different classes, different programs that are gonna set you up to be successful. Also gets into education and training. Majority of folks will get into this industry with a bachelor's. Next highest is a master's, so it gives you an idea of those particular areas. Licensing and certification, as well as wages, because we all want to get paid. So it is something that you are able to really hone in and focus your research and start just getting a better idea of what exactly is out there. And if you're at the beginning stages of your career, it is not necessary for you to figure out the rest of your life at this point in time. It really is just, what do I want my next step to be? And what exactly is going to help me navigate those next steps with a greater degree of confidence, okay? So These are really the primary resources that I would recommend as you're starting to do some of this career exploration. We're also going to be taking a look at Handshake and LinkedIn here in just a little bit. Before I switch gears though, any questions, anything so far? Give me a thumbs up if we are good to go. One thumbs up, 2, 3. Fantastic. Okay, great. So one of the biggest things that we will often get asked in career services is, if I'm trying to get into this industry, what sort of things can I actually look into to start building up experiences? What are those things that I need to really explore so that way when I graduate or when I'm potentially looking for an internship, I'm going to be well set up? So first off, let's talk about internships. Internships is an opportunity that I very, very much encourage folks to take advantage of. It really is just a short-term opportunity for you to get some experience in the industry that you're trying to get into. And a lot of times when folks are taking a look at internships, it's the question of, well, what's the value of an internship? If I'm going to school, why do I need an internship? The value of an internship is actually a variety of different things. One, you're able to develop the skills and the experiences that are going to prepare you for your entry-level position once you graduate. It also gives you an opportunity to connect with folks in your industry. I know many folks who turned their internship into a full-time position because of what they were able to do in that internship. You're able to build out your network, and you're also able to just try on, for lack of better words, different hats. You're able to get a sense of what is it to be kind of in this team and focus in this areas. Okay, well, let me start exploring this other area. And so you're doing some of that exploration, but you're doing it in the workplace. And truth be told, as an undergraduate student myself, as I was a first-gen student and I was navigating college, these sort of opportunities were valuable, not only in the sense of gaining experience, but I also learned what I didn't want. And that was very valuable as well. Also like, this isn't quite for me, but I like the direction this is going. Let me explore more of this. So internships really allows you to just get a better sense of what it is that you're wanting to do. Service learning. So this is also really great. Community-based learning. Anytime that you're able to get involved in your community, at a local nonprofit, volunteering, those are always very, very positive things to get to explore, because of the fact that I know several folks who got their career started with volunteering. And it is an opportunity to, if there are certain businesses or industries that you're looking into, if you're able to get involved in just some community-based learning, also helps you with that exploration. Question from the chat: should I look for internships as a first-year student, or should I wait? Good question. So internships, more often than not, folks, programs will be looking for you to be really kind of within that sophomore, junior year is usually when they start doing that recruitment. And so usually they want you really into your degree program to then be eligible for those sort of internships. So I would really start exploring where you may want to consider an internship and what sort of industry, and then really just keep in contact with your particular school of interest to get a sense of when recruitment starts to happen. I do know, for example, with many tech and engineering firms, many of them will start recruiting in fall for the following summer. And so that is something to most certainly take a look at, is when you are planning, you do want to get a sense of when recruitment starts to happen. And for many folks, you're going to want to start looking the fall before you are ready to start your internship. So just an FYI. Okay. Undergraduate research is a really phenomenal way also of getting experience. Not only are you developing your research and really practicing those opportunities in the university, but you're able to connect with a faculty member who ideally is doing some of the work or in the industry you're trying to get into. So there's an element of mentorship that's involved there. It's an element of connecting with folks who are teaching you the topics that you're wanting to learn more about. It just creates more opportunity to build those connections. And something that I stress often as you're doing this thing called networking, sometimes you'll hear that phrase getting thrown out there, and sometimes folks are like, oh, please don't have me network. Really, when you're thinking about networking, it's less about having these random conversations with folks that you've never engaged with. It's less about that. but it's more about creating an opportunity for folks to get to know you. Because as they get to know you, once you are exploring different opportunities, now you have advocates and you have allies who know you and who know your work and what your interests are. So when you're looking for those internships, when you're looking for those careers, and you're able to connect with folks who are in that industry, they can start recommending you. They can start sharing these opportunities with you because they have that knowledge. And so really, when you're taking a look at service learning, undergraduate research, internships, yes, you're able to build your network of career professionals, but it's also a good place to find those mentorship opportunities to really just, learn from folks. Very, very valuable experience, most definitely. And then hackathons, personal projects. So things that are happening on campus, personal projects that you have been involved in, even when you're talking about clubs and organizations that you're involved in, and maybe you're involved in some of these activities, those are all valuable things to put on your resume because it shows what your commitment has been to the industry, even outside of your classes. And so when folks are able to see that this is something that you have really been embedded in, this is something that you have been exploring and that you are developing your skill set around, it goes a long way because now they get a sense of this is a real strong interest. This is something that you're personally doing. And these are all valuable elements to put onto your resume. So as the assistant director, I tend to work with all undergraduate students who are looking at graduate school. I tend to look at work with graduate students, and I tend to work with alumni. And often I will work with folks who are saying, I don't have a lot of work experience. And so does that mean I don't have anything to put on my resume? And the answer is actually, no, you do. You are going to have 4 years of something to put on your resume. There's going to be quite a bit that you're going to have. And as you're taking a look at this, these are additional opportunities for you to further develop those skills and experiences. So when you're crafting that resume, there's quite a bit that you're going to be able to put that is relevant to whatever opportunity it is that you happen to be exploring. Okay. One additional resource that I want to be able to share with you, and that is also from our major and career page, is this resource around Candid Careers. So Candid Career is really again, bit of a library database where you're able to see short video clips of professionals who are out in the industry, in different fields, in different positions. So you can hear directly from folks who are doing this work, takes away some of the guesswork that you might be exploring of just, what exactly am I researching? What exactly am I looking for? That's also a really good resource to get a sense of, well, what are kind of the lived experiences of other folks who are out in the industry, okay? So highly recommend that one as well. All right, so folks will often ask, as I'm looking at potentially developing online profiles, as I'm potentially looking to explore these new opportunities, even if I'm not quite ready for it yet, where should I be looking? And the two main resources that I always tend to recommend to folks is Handshake and LinkedIn. So let's break these down just a little bit further, okay? Coming back here, let's talk about Handshake. So Handshake is the job and internship board that we utilize here at UW-Bothell. And we share this job and internship board with the Seattle campus as well. So employers who are promoting opportunities on Handshake are ones who are specifically looking for either current or recently graduated college students. So when I'm working with folks and there's the question of like, where should I be looking for internships, or how do I find opportunities that are in alignment with where my skills are, with where my degree is, first place I tend to recommend is Handshake. Also, just an FYI, from the different employer partners that we've been engaging with, because of the current state of the pandemic, because of everything that's currently still going on, many of them have said that they're keeping their recruitment strategies virtual. They're keeping their engagement with students virtual. And they have said, when we're looking for your students, we're going to be looking for them on Handshake. So this is also a platform that I highly, highly recommend develop your profile within. And this is something that in career services, we're able to help you with. So when you develop your profile, which is actually over here in the top right, you're doing a couple of different things. First, you're streamlining the recommendations that will show up on your homepage. So when you initially log in, and it's the question of like, well, where do I find these opportunities? When you update your profile, the opportunities that show up on the homepage are in alignment with what your degree is in. So that takes away some of the searching that you're going to have to do. The other tool that you're able to utilize Handshake for is over here. So when you click on jobs, something you're going to notice is we have internships and job opportunities across the country. So as you're looking, if you're wanting to stay in the Seattle area, wonderful. If you're wanting to extend beyond the Seattle area, you're able to do that as well. And what I appreciate about Handshake is really their use of filters. So it can get really overwhelming when you're looking for internships and jobs, especially when you're trying to go through a list of more than 15,000 jobs. So it's quite a bit. What I tend to recommend to folks is utilize the filters. So for example, if I wanted to find an internship, and ideally, I would like to be paid for my internship. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm looking for a paid internship. And let's say that the major that I have is going to be computer science. So because we share this platform with Seattle, if you just start typing in your degree, you're going to see a whole bunch of degrees that you may not recognize. And that's because you're probably pulling up Seattle's degrees. So when you type in UW-Bothell, that is what will bring up our degrees. All right. So just so you are aware of that. Okay. All right. So let's look up computer science and software engineering as our major. So that's all I put in so far is really just the internship paid role. And I'm looking for opportunities in alignment with this major. Show results. Now I've narrowed down the focus from more than 15,000 jobs to about a little bit more than 2,000 jobs, 2.7 thousand, okay? Let's narrow it down even further. So if I wanted to just look up in the Seattle area, and then let's take a look at Seattle, probably not 50 miles out, let's do 20. Show results. Now we've narrowed down the focus from 15,000 to about 300. And this will help you start to explore different internships that you're able to identify with just that degree. And that's all you're really filtering is you're looking for those paid internships with that degree. And you would just adjust it if you're looking for a full-time position, you're looking for a full-time job by your degree, helps take away some of the guesswork. So when you're wondering, what can I explore with this degree? This is a really good place to be able to do that, okay? One last thing I want to show you about Handshake is this resource right here, Seattle and Bothell Career Center. So when you click on this resource, this is where you're able to find some resources, find some additional tools around developing experience. But right here is where you're scheduling appointments with us. So when you click on schedule a new appointment, this is when you're able to identify you're a graduate student, maybe you're wanting to do a student club, maybe you're pre-health students, master's graduates, and alumni. So you identify, what your grade level is and then what it is that you want to come and meet with us around. And this is where you're able to schedule appointments with us. So when it comes to Handshake, I highly, highly recommend that if you haven't had a chance to get into it, do it. Even if you're not ready to look for an internship yet, when you start developing your profile now, when you're ready for that internship search or that job search, it will make your life a lot easier to have that really set up. And then all we're doing is really fine tuning to give you the results that you're looking for, okay? So highly, highly recommend Handshake as you are exploring these different opportunities. The other one I tend to recommend to folks more often is LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is a job social media board. It really is a board similar to kind of other social media sites where you're able to share articles, you're able to write posts, things like that. But what makes this one unique is it is specific for professionals. About 90% of businesses are utilizing LinkedIn now as a way of trying to find new talent, as a way of staying connected with other career professionals that they've had a chance to meet with, all of that. So in developing your Handshake profile and your LinkedIn profile, you're creating an opportunity for recruiters potentially to find you. And recruiters are often doing keyword searches in both platforms, trying to find folks for the opportunities that they have available. So the more information you have in your profile, you're creating opportunities for folks to find you. And if you have folks coming to you for jobs, that makes life a lot easier because now you're not having to do all of that searching that yourself, okay? So again, even if you are not 100% sure of just how to utilize your LinkedIn profile, that is something that you're able to meet with us around, and we can help you construct a profile that you're feeling confident around where you're able to start connecting with other folks that are in your industry, other folks that you've had a chance to connect with, okay? But there's one additional tool that I very much like to utilize LinkedIn for, in part of that career exploration, all right? So you just need a basic LinkedIn profile to be able to do this. You actually don't need the premium or paid version to do what it is that I'm going to show you, all right? So when you click on search, if you did a search for the University of Washington Bothell, what that will do is it will pull up our UW Bothell LinkedIn page. And you're going to see a couple of different menu items here for you to be able to explore. But the one that I want to bring your attention to is this menu item right here where it says alumni. So when you click on alumni, what that does is it actually connects you to the more than 10,000 alumni who are currently connected with us on our UW Bothell LinkedIn page. And when you extend these charts that are on this page, you're able to get a sense of those 10,000 folks, where are they living right now? So if you want to get a sense of folks that are maybe outside of the country, or you're getting a sense of other folks who are just around the country, or you want to focus on Greater Seattle, that's here. Where are they currently working? So business-wise, where are they currently involved in? Okay. What are they currently doing work-wise? What did they study when they were a student? So this is very, very helpful as well when you're trying to get a sense of what other folks have done with your degree. Okay. What are they currently skilled at? And then how are you connected? Or do you have are you directly connected? So that would be first connection. Do you have a mutual connection second, or are you not connected at all? So utilizing this, sometimes it's really helpful to get a sense of, well, what have other folks done who have graduated with my degree? Where are they right now? So I can get an idea of where I can really start this search. So let's say you wanted to hone in on folks who graduated with a degree in computer science. We click on that, and now again, we narrow down the focus from more than 10,000 alumni to about 1,700. Let's narrow it down even further. So now let's take a look in the Greater Seattle area, okay? And let's say we want to really focus on folks working at, let's just say, T-Mobile. So let's click on T-Mobile, all right? So now we've narrowed down the focus from more than 10,000 alumni to about 58 who have a computer science degree, who are in the Greater Seattle area and are working at my company of interest of T-Mobile. So when I scroll down, now I'm able to see folks with that degree. I'm able to get a sense of where exactly they are right now in regards to work. And I can also get a good sense of what their career journey has been. So let's take a look at Belle's profile, for example. So right now she's assistant architect engineer at T-Mobile. When you take a look at her experience, so she graduated with her bachelor's degree in 2019. So from here, you're able to get a sense of, well, then what did she go and do? Well, first really started working for UW Bothell as an IT student technician, got involved with the Association of for Computing Machinery, became the chapter secretary intern, and then started to build her career at T-Mobile. And you can see she started out as a systems and IP solutions engineer, eventually became a systems design associate engineer, systems architecture associate engineer, and now systems architect engineer. You're able to get a sense of career path. You're able to get a sense of positions. You're able to get a sense of companies that will hire individuals post-graduation. So you're able to really learn from individuals who have your degree, who have your focus area. And so if there is someone who you are coming across whose career is of interest to you, I really recommend just doing a bit of exploration, see what their journey has been. So that way you have an idea of what your journey can look like. And then once you really have your LinkedIn profile, if you wanted to send them a connection request, you very well could. And that way you're connecting with other folks who have your degree, who are out in the industry doing what it is that you're looking to do. And it just creates a lot more opportunity for you to be able to just learn from folks and their experience as you are taking your next steps. What you'll find often with alumni, not true for all, but for many of them, is they are more inclined to actually reach out to folks and connect with you all because they recognize what it's been like to graduate and try to find those new opportunities. So really, when you have an opportunity to engage with an alumni who has your degree, highly, highly take advantage of it. Really recommend it. Okay. So those two profiles are the primary ones that I tend to recommend. The other benefit of LinkedIn as well, which I'll highlight in just a little bit, is also LinkedIn Learning. So one of the things that employers are always looking for is ways that you are staying on top of continuing to develop your skill set. So let me back that up a little bit more, because sometimes it's that question of, okay, well, skill-wise, what are employers even looking for? As you're looking at these job descriptions, we're very quick to identify the jobs that we're capable of and very quick to identify like, oh, I'm not qualified for that job, because we see one or two things that are outside of our experience. So it's the question of, well, what exactly are employers looking for? And what they are looking for are things that you all already have been developing and you're continuing to develop. So this is from the National Association of Colleges and Employers, their job outlook report. And what this is the percentages of when they surveyed employers across all industries, they asked the question of what are the skills that you most need from recent college graduates. And they identified these areas as really those target areas. Anything that highlights your problem solving skills, your ability to work on a team, your work ethic, your analytical, your quantitative skills, your written communication skills, anything that highlights your leadership, your verbal communication, your initiative, your attention to detail, and your technical skills. All things that you've been developing throughout your academic journey. For those of you who are needing to work part-time job or full-time job as you're going to school. So many of us, I know I had to work when I was a student as well. And so I was working in retail, and it was the idea of like, well, I'm trying to break into the industry now. Do I even highlight my retail experience? Yes, absolutely. Because your prior experience, you've been developing these skills, whether it's been part-time, full-time, retail, fast food, whatever, we are able to find those, what they call those transferable skills. These skills are going to be the most transferable regardless of your industry. And so when you're thinking about what do I put on my resume, this is what you have to put on your resume. And you're going to have, again, those courses, those projects where you've been refining these things. Those things are going to be very valuable to you, all right? Outside of the skills that you're developing, you're also going to have the opportunity to further develop your skills. So when we're talking about LinkedIn Learning, what that is you will actually, as UW students, have unlimited access to more than 16,000 video tutorials put together by industry experts. And they range from particular software and computer skills to overall leadership, management, diversity, equity, and inclusion. It really covers a broad range of topics. And so if you have your LinkedIn profile and you just need your Net ID, so making sure that you have that available as well, you will just need to go to the website linkedinlearning.uw.edu, and you're able to connect LinkedIn Learning to your LinkedIn page. And the benefit of really LinkedIn Learning is once you complete those courses, you earn a certificate of completion, which can then go onto your profile. And it's really very beneficial because when employers or potential internships are asking, outside of your education, what are you doing to stay on top of the industry and learn what's happening in your industry, you can point to LinkedIn Learning. And you have those evidence pieces on your profile so they get an idea of how you have been invested in your own development, okay? Really highly, highly recommend. And these video tutorials are really anywhere from, 30 seconds to 6 minutes. They're very brief, and then they just are put in a particular sequential order. And so many times folks are on their commute or something like that, and they'll just kind of watch videos as they can. So it's really customizable to whatever your time happens to be. All right. So as I'm winding down now, want to make sure that I leave time for questions, but wanted to also just highlight some of the main things to really utilize and explore that is available. So first off, recognize Career Services is here for you. You're able to meet with us for career exploration, for your application materials, for your job and internship search strategies. If you're needing support around graduate school, you're able to meet with us around that. We have a number of different resources that I explored with you. Candid Careers, what can I do with this major? Voice, Vault is also on that list. The other one is around the video webinars and presentations. So coming back to our career page, let me actually go back to our home page. You click here on videos and webinars. If you're not quite ready to meet with the career coach, but you're wanting some support, check out these different video tutorials around how do you create your Handshake profile, how do you develop your resume, all of those particular things. So if you're just wanting to kind of start that exploration, not quite ready to meet with us, highly recommend checking out this resource as well. I'll add that to our chat so you have it. Okay. All right. And then the two main profiles that I recommend to support your search, to support just your overall development, Handshake and LinkedIn. Giving yourself the opportunity to build your profile, connect with folks, really get a sense of what research, or rather research what alumni and other professionals are doing in your industry, and then also search for jobs and internships, okay? So recognize that looking for a job, looking for an internship can be a daunting process, and you have a great deal of support. You have a number of folks and a number of resources that are available, and folks that are really wanting to see you be successful. So however we can be of resource to you, by all means, please feel free to reach out to us. So with that, that brings me to the close of this particular section around careers in tech and engineering. I would love to open it up to see any questions that folks have. Feel free to come off of mute or add to the chat. Righty. Well, I'm going to take the silence as that we are good to go. The last thing that I'm going to add to our chat then is my email address. So if you do have any questions following this presentation, by all means, you are more than welcome to email me. We're happy to set up some time to address any sort of questions that you may have following this presentation. So with that, I really encourage you all reach out if you do need anything. So thank you all so much for your time today. Really appreciate just your attendance and your coming and joining us today. So feel free to reach out if we can be of any help. I wish you all a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks so much.